Okay, well, thank you. We are opening this cities delegation session. We are very glad to have you all here from different countries and different cities. Very quickly, so we are here at ChangeNOW, and ChangeNOW, what is it? Is kind of a big showroom of the greatest innovations we have on our planet to try and solve issues such as biodiversity crisis, resources, climate change, and inclusion. And in this great program of how we can help solutions, for us, it is super important to have city representatives jumping in the conversation and be with all of this community of change makers. Why? Well, because first of all, we've noticed that definitely at least half of the solutions we identify have a link with cities. And for sure, also cities and life in cities represent largely the major part of the impact of CO2 emissions, of pollutions, etc. So for sure, the solutions will come from the cities. That's why we every year now put light on this collaboration, this workshop on how cities and solutions can work together. So once again, thank you to all the city representatives to join in. It's a pleasure to have you here with us.
So to continue, hi all. We are the resilient team with the ChangeNOW team with Philippe here. And just quickly to present resilience, maybe I can share just a presentation with you. Okay. Do you see? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So quickly, Resilience is a startup in consulting, modeling, and business strategy dedicated to the adaptation of territories and infrastructures to climate change. City and infrastructure are not adapted to climate change. And here are some examples, like Paris underwater in 2018, and California and its networks impacted by fire. In fact, we felt the need to foster solutions to deal with the impact of climate change. And we need to anticipate and adapt cities, infrastructures, and their use by consulting, by modeling, or by project coordination. Our clients are international funders, such as the United Nations Development Programme or expert-friendly cities, and communities like city of Amiens, for example, and real estate and network operators and constructions and industry. And we have key partnerships on climate data, like Space Climate Observatory, or key partnerships on infrastructures like Sixth Sense, or to digitalization, to engineering, or to monitoring. And in all our projects, we are committed to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So we have some location of realized projects or in progress and development projects. And this figure show our projects, 55 projects carried out and distributed in more 33 countries. And Resilience also use satellites as that serve to Earth and provide real-time evidence of climate change. Some example of our expertise, first of all, with the risk of flooding for mobility infrastructures. So, for example, we established a geographic information system to evaluate the capacity of the network to evacuate the users in time of flooding, and to intervene to the state service under the constraints of flooding road traffic. This is another video on flooding, but maybe I can just pass quickly. And we also propose to model urban microclimates at the neighborhood scale with model to measure, for example, the impact of the vegetation on cooling by comparing the result before and after vegetation. And once the impacts of climate hazard have been identified, they must be visualized in order to understand and to integrate them. For example, we have developed a 3D or even 4D geographic information system platform, on which we provide our clients with a real-time and a predictive weather and climate data. And this platform allows to project the information, and we produce the concerning the risk and the climate vulnerability. So this is an example. And so we co-construction of the resilience tools and the roadmaps with the local authorities, with the company, with the media and citizens and public institutions. And we have so many examples, such as urban mobility infrastructures in face of climate change, or such as we developing the first African climate change knowledge platform, and we do some adaptation of coastal cities in Africa to climate change. And another example of the climate resilience of urban mobility in Africa. And also we have a global upstream platform on resilience for small islands and small states, and projects on sustainable and resilient urbanism in Haiti too. So some projects, and we have urban stakeholders who trust us. You can see all the stakeholders, and this is the team. So I'm with Philippe. Maybe you can see my mouse. Philippe is here, and I'm here. And now we can pass just a quickly presentation of resilience and error, and now we can pass with a 3-minute pitch per solutions, and after we dispatch by room according to your topic and with the cities which will have expressed their interest during the presentation. Maybe you can just go. So I can pass the discuss with Virtue and stop my presentation. Yeah. So maybe Virtue, you can go and pitch for 3 minutes, and after merci Raymond, and after you.
Yes, Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Baptiste from Virtuo. So I'm just sharing my screen. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, so thank you, everyone. So Virtuo, as you see here, our common thread is to think nature everywhere in cities. By everywhere, I mean nature also where we don't have any more fertile ground, because underground occupation and networks complexity in cities. Our proposition is to bring a nature-based solution all in one, plug and play, to perform nature, even if naturally it's supposed to be impossible because of the ground. So we created a solution, a unique solution, a modular system that reproduce water cycle in cities. So what you see on the left here is exactly what works in nature, but in a smaller ecosystem that we recreated for the city. We do have our own phreatic table that collects and store rainwaters on the left. Then you have a small porous membrane that is represented in white dashed lines. And on the right, you have the planted part that is irrigated naturally without any pump or high technology. And the whole system delivers 4 added values for the cities. As you see here, the first great challenge is to create urban nature that is irrigated all the year by rain. So we work on self-sufficiency above 60 days in all cities. So in phase with climate anticipation of 2050, the answer that we bring is we can really avoid any irrigation by watering the plants in the cities, because we create autonomous systems. The second added value is that we gather all the conditions to create the perfect environment for plants. So they have enough humidity in soil to refresh cities, to be the most powerful in refreshing, even during harsh heat waves. Then the third added value is really about vegetation. We develop all of our products with locally sourced seeds. So you will find any local plants anywhere we develop our projects. These plants are more attractive for biodiversity, of course, but they are strong enough to avoid too much maintenance, but also they are really aesthetic, non-toxic for human beings. So it's really the perfect balance between comfort and environmental impact. And then direct consequences of this advantage is we create a system that is really low cost for maintenance, for the city's management. We generate more than 80% of economy compared to a standard urban garden. So this is really the financial impact we bring with our environmental solutions.
And finish, sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just 30 seconds to end here. We created two solutions based on this innovation. You will see furthermore in details. The first solution is blocage urbain, more for roadsides. So the idea is like Lego blocks. We deploy Lego blocks along the road to collect, store, and irrigate an autonomous vegetal band. And the second solution is Oasis. We create our system in urban furnitures that can easily implement. They are removable and they contribute to develop comfort and uses in cities. So we work on specific design, qualitative materials. So we can bring this solution that is perfect for schoolyards, balconies, patios, terrace. So that's it. Thank you for your attention. Our goals is to develop pilots in several countries. So if you think you can help us somehow in this duty, It will be a great pleasure to talk together. Feel free to ask me any question. Thank you.
Thank you. And sorry for the transition, but now we can show Merci Raymond, and after future-proof cities.
Okay. Hi everybody. Maybe I can try to.
Virtue, if you can't stop the share.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon. I hope you're seeing my screen.
Yeah, good.
Okay, perfect. So I work for Merci Raymond. Merci Raymond is a French startup involved to restore vegetation in urban areas. And we are a multidisciplinary team of architects, designers, landscapers, gardeners, agronomists, even florists sometimes. And we are all driven by the conviction that we can act to make our cities greener. And we have one particularity is that we can provide, thanks to all our different skills, a complete support to make the building greener. Therefore, we are organized in 3 poles: plan design, urban farming, and landscape designing, to have a global approach of what can be done at the scale of a building. And this global approach, we call it the fertile building. So it means that when we are working on our projects, we try to combine all these skills, all these approaches to see not only in terms of spaces, like working areas, balconies, rooftops, but also in terms of flows, and which we try to create synergies between a rooftop, a ground floor, and some suburban places where urban farming can be done. So we have a sensitive approach. We are not engineers. We aim at really at recreating a link between plants and citizens for educational reasons, for well-being reasons, for biodiversity reasons, and that's why we create well-being spaces, sensitive gardens. We really think about the continuities that can be made between the inside and the outside to keep everywhere in the building the benefit of the plant. With our particularity which is urban farming. It means to create the synergies between a building in a urban center and small producers in the suburban areas. So we have a strong partnership approach of our project, and here are some examples of what can be done. For a rooftop and a garden, we can put vertical farming to fight against the urban heat island and provide food for a ground floor restaurant. We can work on cleaning the air for co-working or co-living areas and create inside the island of greenery.
To finish, sorry.
Okay, I finished very quickly, and yeah, the main idea is really to create links between a building and our partnerships in suburban areas. Yeah, to create all the synergies. Thank you.
Thank you. And now for future-proof cities.
Yes. I'm just waiting for Merci Raymond to stop sharing, and then I'll be sharing.
Yeah. It should be okay.
Okay, thank you. Oops. Can everybody see my PowerPoint here?
Yeah.
Also in full screen?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, so here it goes for 3 minutes. I'll try to be concise. So, hi everyone, and nice meeting you. Here I'm going to present to you Future-Proof Cities, which is an online software that's designed to empower cities to drive the transition to low-carbon future, and we do that by executing their climate plans. So basically, Future-Proof Cities, the tool is organized in 4 ways, moving from the plan to the action, meaning that we can have a lot of theory, but now it's time to put it in action, and we're going to show how we do that. First of all, the objective is to support cities in their transition to become more livable by cutting down their carbon emissions via the execution of their climate plan, and it starts every time from their reality. We know that transitions are hard. We come from a past of consultancy. We know it's a one-woman show. It's hard to focus, and municipalities tend to reinvent the wheel. So we decided to bring everything together to design a tool to help them. So first of all, we'll help develop a climate action plan. We'll help you set your objective by choosing in a catalog of 130 pre-calculated measures in a growing database. So you can always find inspiration there and build your climate plan. Organize your work according to your own structure with a flexible plan management system, and also prioritize your action according to their potential in terms of CO2 and financial results. Here's a sneak peek of the database of the pre-calculated measures list. Then we help you monitor and manage. So it means distributing the work in your team and involve the different departments to work together on the climate plan, help you track progresses and identify the bottlenecks in real time to fine-tune your strategy along the way, so you don't have to wait 2 years to fine-tune it. Visualize your impact in near real time in terms of CO2, financial returns, and also socioeconomic benefits. This is what we call the co-benefits, and they're all related to the SDGs. So we show the bigger picture of the climate plan. Then we help you collaborate with peers, so you can connect with peers from other cities via the community to learn from their success. It's some kind of social media just for cities. It helps you save time because you can ask questions to the community on specific issues, and you can stay in touch. So it's not just like every Monday morning after an event. No, here you stay connected with your peers to be supported in your job. And lastly, we help you engage stakeholders by sharing your success and progresses to your citizens. And you can do that via a public page that's automatically generated. You can involve stakeholders, meaning the companies, the citizens, by inviting them to take action into the transformation of your city. And you can share also access to the platform with local organizations, so you can have a larger view on what's happening in your city. This is an example of a public page. Future-Proof Cities is software as a service. Why? It was chosen because it requires no downloads, no installation. It's cross-platforms. You can use it on mobile devices. You can have an unlimited number of users working simultaneously on the platform. The cities are up and running in half a day by your coach. You have live and technical support during the working hours, and the tool is continuously evolving thanks to the feedback from our users. In the SaaS
finish. Yeah, sorry.
Finish? Okay, that's the last slide. So in the SaaS fee, you can count on startup session, some follow-ups, reporting to the governor and the mayors, be part of the community, and have a different kind of support. Just some quick views on the services, the onboarding session, the launching and the coaching. You have a help center, blog, webinars, live support that we offer. We offer also reporting to the governor and the mayors. And you can join or be yearly events with the community. We have today 145 cities in Belgium, France, and Sweden. And by the numbers, I'm going to share that presentation later, but you can have a sneak peek on what the community is able to reach together today. Asking you if you're ready to become future-proofed. And we like to finish with the quote from the mayor of Los Angeles, saying that changing the world starts in your city. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for this presentation. And now again, here, Saint-Gobain.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. Let me share my presentation. I am Maud Thiaudet from Saint-Gobain. I'm very happy to be with you today. And I'm going to present you what could make your city actually change now so that they can be more sustainable cities. So when you think of cities, you basically think of cities with nice buildings, old or new, that make the identity of the city. But reality might be slightly different at some point when building ends up to be very costly, lengthy, generating a lot of waste either on the ground or during demolition. And on top of that, of course, generating a lot of carbon emission, either during energy consumption when the building is built, or of course, during the lifetime of the building whenever it is used. And on top of that, of course, you might end up with neighbors, noisy neighbors, that are actually going to prevent you from enjoying the comfort you should have in your house. So how do we do? There is a solution, and this solution is called lightweight construction. And this is what Saint-Gobain is all about, developing lightweight solutions that are going to deliver sustainability and performance to the cities of to the buildings of your city. Lightweight construction is basically a method of construction that gives more carbon and energy efficiency by providing insulation characteristics. It also enables optimized resource use for construction, either because there is less waste on the site or because the materials have recycled content or are recyclable. It enables faster building because the materials can be either prefabricated on off-site manufacturing sites, or because they are much faster to install, lighter, and much more convenient. And last but not least, of course, it all provides enhanced comfort to the users of the buildings. So at Saint-Gobain, we have measured the impact of those solutions so that we can actually demonstrate the benefits of those lightweight solutions, which can be either facade systems, which are much lighter and which can be installed naturally on existing buildings or on new lightwood structure buildings. They consist also on ceilings, which can be adapted very well to each of the types of buildings. So hospitals will need more hygiene, for example, whereas a school will need more acoustic performance so that they can ensure the best usage for the children. Of course, as a global leader in sustainable construction, Saint-Gobain not being a startup or being a startup since 350 years, we are very interested into partnering at a big scale with cities so that we can bring all the benefits of those lightweight construction solutions to you and make sure that we enable you and us at the same time to decarbonize and make construction a sustainable and growing industry for the next years. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for the timing. So now just pass to Accenta. Not here, but maybe Okra Solar. So.
Yeah, sure, I can go. Let me quickly share my screen. Let me know if you guys can see it.
Yes.
Cool. So good afternoon, everyone. Okra's technology is purpose-built to enable governments and developers to build profitable smart grids to energize the last mile. As many of you might know, last mile and temporary settlements come in different shapes and sizes. In urban and peri-urban settlements, there is usually a central commerce hub with households and small holdings scattered across the outskirts. In other cases, communities can be extremely dispersed, where kilometers of open land can be between households. The traditional way of powering these cities have been through centralized mini-grids, and through centralized mini-grids where electricity distribution can be very expensive. Another drawback of centralized mini-grids is that they have, by design, a single point of failure. If something breaks, the entire system experiences a blackout. And because of high voltage distribution, trained professionals must be dispatched to fix the problem. This is where our thinking got started. We set out to design a solution that would enable energy companies and project developers to reduce the cost of distribution while also simplifying the operations and maintenance. And we call this solution a mesh grid, a new grid architecture that leverages the distributed infrastructure of interconnected smarts. The fundamental building blocks of an Okra mesh grid is the pod, an IoT-enabled MPPT power distribution controller that allows households to be connected into clustered energy-sharing networks that sends a constant stream of data to our networks through the cloud. We can monitor everything from the solar performance down to the temperature of the PCB boards. From an installation perspective, fitting a household with a pod is the same as installing any other solar home system. Every house has a pod, solar panels, batteries, and an inverter. In addition, pods can be connected together so that excess energy from solar generation and battery storage can be shared 24/7 to households that need more power. This not only improves the reliability of Okra networks, but it also increases the battery lifetime by reducing the rapid and frequent discharge. Because sharing power in our mesh grids is transmitted at 50 volt DC, our networks are safe for anyone to work on. In all the communities powered by Okra, a local person is trained to carry out basic maintenance tasks. This promotes employment and a sense of ownership from the local community. It also significantly reduces the operational expenses for project owners. In many cases, we have encountered communities that have intermittent national grids on the horizon, or the need to power energy-intensive loads. To address this, we also provide a grid-connected device that allows for main grids or AC generators to bolt onto our mesh grids and contribute power. Thanks to the modularity and scalability of mesh networks, infrastructure development in the last mile and low-income communities can be done at rapid rates, without the downside of only having access to low output power. With Okra, users can still use productive loads, allowing them to use power tools, freezers, and other clean cooking appliances, which fundamentally enables these communities to keep up with 21st century society. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. And just to check, Maya Shibo is not here from Accenta. No, so maybe you can pass. So now reconnect.
Hi everyone, can you hear me well?
Yeah.
Yes,
okay. Okay, let me share my screen now and please tell me if you can see it. Is it okay?
It's okay.
Okay. Hi everyone, thanks for having me, the ChangeNOW team, and thanks everyone for participating in this event. My name is Corentin. I work now for Reconnect. Reconnect is an NGO which aims at fighting poverty in France, but also abroad. We've been developing for the past 5 years digital services to improve the social inclusion of the most vulnerable populations. It can be refugees, homeless people, drug addicts and stuff. And we created the NGO after we made a couple observations. The first observation we made was the non-take-up, the non-access to some social rights and medical rights for these people due to the loss of documents, but also the fact that social workers were never. They didn't have the right document and the right folder to make the social follow-ups. That was the first observation. The second observation was that NGOs, but also public and institution administration, are having issues to communicate, to work together when it comes to vulnerable people situations. So we developed different solutions to tackle these issues. The first solution is a kind of solidarity cloud, which is basically an online space that can be consulted from any device with an internet connection, allowing vulnerable people to keep all their administrative data, passwords and contact necessary when they want to access and obtain social benefits. And they can also share this data with any social worker in order to facilitate administrative procedure. The second tool we've been developing is what we call Reconnect Pro, which is basically a professional software that facilitates the social follow-up of vulnerable populations. And the last thing that we developed, but is also digital inclusion programs that are basically trainings regarding basic digital skills for people on the brink of unemployment. To give you a bit more details about the impact of Reconnect after 5 years of existence, we have been partnering with more than 460 partners, mostly in France and around 50 public administrations, such as the city of Paris or Montpellier and Lyon in France. We have more than 3,000 professional users of our tools and more than 30,000 beneficiaries of our solution and digital inclusion programs. So why should a city or public administration be interested in what we propose? First of all, Reconnect could help you launch an innovative strategy for the digital inclusion of vulnerable people. Secondly, we could help you facilitate the take-up of social rights and access to a job for these same vulnerable people. And lastly, but not least, we could help you building trust and social cohesion between precarious people and public administration and cities. Thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you, and thank you for the time. It's perfect. So now we can pass at la plateforme E.
Yes. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Melissa Ordóñez, and I work for Platform E, or Platform I in English. So Platform I is a French NGO that uses social innovation to foster professional integration of excluded groups from the labor market. So we support youth and adults to uncover, develop, and better highlight their skills. We train and advise social workers to get a better understanding of the world of work. And finally, we train employers to incorporate more inclusive hiring processes on their HR practices. So among the different projects developed by Platform E, the one that I want to introduce to you today is the program TEAM. So TEAM is an 8-week intensive program designed to boost young NEETs professional integration using the power of collective strength. So NEETs are this particular category of young people that are neither on employment, education, or training. So how did this program come about? A well-known issue regarding NEETs is that they are hard to catch and really hard to keep mobilized. This is due for many different reasons: a mistrust of authority, of institutions, early school dropout, social isolation, the fear of the future, and the list goes on. So based on this observation, TEAM was designed to offer the opportunity to groups of 10 NEETs to create an 8-week entrepreneurial project and to use this empowering experience and the motivation that it's created by it as a lever to build with each participant a solid personal project. So the idea is not that every participant becomes an entrepreneur after the program, but rather that this project offers them a space to explore together their passions, their interests, their talents, by creating and taking responsibility on a project that they really care about. So we use entrepreneurship as a pedagogical tool to allow them to live, and for most of them, for the first time in their lives, a positive experience of the world of work, to put them on a decision-making position, and to, most importantly, regain confidence on their future. So at the same time that they create this collective project, they benefit from a personal, social, and professional following that can last for 5 months if needed. So this program has supported over 300 NEETs in France today, and we hope to keep expanding this program in new cities. So thank you for listening, and I'll be glad to exchange with you in the next part of the session.
Thank you for your presentation and for your timing. So now it's Interreg.
Yep. Let me share my screen. Okay. You can see my screen, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me. My name is Mathieu Maury, and today I'm here to present the European Union Territorial Cooperation Program called Interreg, and more specifically the one I run, Interreg Northwest Europe. Now, if your city is, if your city is not in Northwest Europe, but in Europe, its neighborhood or its overseas territories, you may still want to listen to me. There are indeed Interreg programs covering a wide geography and funding the green change at local and regional level everywhere. Interreg is an EU program that funds territorial cooperation initiatives. We support outstanding ideas that have already made a difference for local communities, and we aim at spreading them to other interested cities or regions. The final aim being to reduce discrepancies between territories and strengthen the European Union cohesion. In the wave of the EU historic new green goals, many Interreg programs will increase their funding towards the green transition in the next years. We are determined to play our part in this historic challenge. To that aim, our current program has allocated 376 million euros to finance more than 100 projects and around 1,000 partners across our geography. To put some flesh on all this, here are some examples of the type of projects we finance. The project E=0 addresses poor energy performance of residential buildings by delivering net zero energy retrofits with a 30 years warranty at a cost paid off by the guaranteed energy savings. Thanks to this project, houses in 4 Northwest Europe towns and cities have benefited from these makeovers. With this project called ChangeNOW, we are also helping the renewable hydrogen value chain develop in some cities for public transportation, like here in Belfast, that has now a fleet of hydrogen public buses. Here with CHIPS, we helped develop existing bicycle highways into a high-quality transnational mobility tool. And I could go on and on. We had an event last week precisely on a greener Northwest Europe. And a member of the European Parliament started his speech by saying Interreg is not a success story, which made me rather nervous, I must confess. But he went on by saying, Interreg, it's tens of thousands of success stories everywhere in our cities and regions. And he is right. Now let us help you become one of those success stories. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your timing. And so now it's a System Innovation Network.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me share my screen. Great to be here. Let me see. So this should be it. Hopefully you see my presentation at this stage.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so I'm presenting Systems Innovation. We are an e-learning and community platform for applying and helping people learn about ideas, tools, methods of systems innovation. So this is quite a new idea. I'm going to bring you up to speed what it is. You're probably not familiar with it and why it might be of relevance to cities. We know that cities are complex systems composed of many different kinds of systems, but we also know there's this sustainability challenge across many of those different dimensions. We've seen a few already, climate change, but we've got cybersecurity, energy transition, so on and so forth. So a lot of challenges there, and I think we know that a kind of centralized top-down approaches can't really solve all of those. And what we want is more to kind of activate the capacities of individuals, of civil society, of public-private sector to create new solutions, as we've seen today, to these kind of challenges that cities face. And that's a lot about innovation, right? I believe, and I think a lot of you would believe, that innovation is really key to tackling these challenges that we face. But also, a lot of the innovation we see is actually kind of innovation in parts. And this can only actually get us so far. When we're dealing with really complex, wicked sustainability challenges, they require a different kind of innovation on a different kind of level. And we call this systems innovation. It's innovation in actually the whole system we're dealing with, right? So innovation in parts here would be a new electric car. Innovation in systems here would be restructuring that transport system. So that's an example of systems innovation. It's innovation in the way we organize systems, innovation in the structure of systems. We call this systems innovation. It's only about 10 years or so that it's existed. And this is a quick example, shifting from the linear economy that we know today to a circular economy. That's a change in the structure of that system, and we call that systems innovation. So obviously it's not easy, right? It's going to take new ways of organizing, new ways of collaborating, but actually beyond that, it takes new ways of thinking, and we call this systems thinking. You may have heard of it. It's a new kind of holistic way of looking at the world that helps us better understand complex systems as cities are. Beyond that, as mentioned, it takes new ways of organizing, new ways of collaborating, particularly around this kind of ecosystem approach where we don't divide the problems up into different departments. We actually put them there in the center, and we organize ourselves around them in kind of, again, a holistic way, collaborative way also. So that's a very brief kind of overview of what systems innovation is. What we do is we help people learn about these new ideas, right? A lot of new ideas coming from complexity of science, systems thinking, and so forth, systems change. We do a lot of educational content there, video courses, so on and so forth, training. We then also provide a lot of tools, templates, guides, canvases, designs, and so forth for people to engage in systems innovation projects and labs and so forth. We also develop a global community of systems innovators, and kind of key to that and what I want to maybe talk to you about today and might be relevant to cities are these hubs that we've started developing over the past year in different cities around the world. And these are spaces we create for people to learn about and apply these new ideas in their local context. So it's a kind of a place-based approach. But these hubs are kind of labs for learning and doing at the same time. They're communities of practice, but they're also labs for experimenting how we might actually get better at doing this systems level innovation in response to those kind of complex sustainability challenges. Yeah, I'm just finished now. This is just what it looks like at the moment, 20 hubs around the world. I'd love to talk to you if you'd like to learn more about that, or maybe one of those in your city. We can chat about that. And that's me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. So now we can pass at the Restart project.
Yes, good afternoon. Let me try to share my screen. Okay, I hope you can see my screen.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, okay, so the Restart Project is a non-profit organization based in the UK, which has the objective of fixing our relationship with electronics, meaning rethinking the way we relate to products that too often become e-waste too soon. And why is this relevant for cities? We have a vision which really takes place in cities, in every city, like where people care more about the products they have, where new repair jobs are created while preventing waste at the same time. Everyone shares their skills locally. People learn even in schools and in informal places where to repair. Repair becomes available everywhere to prevent unnecessary upgrades to new electronics whenever things can be fixed, and to also rethink the way we currently recycle while prioritizing repair and reuse. So how can cities change and be better in this respect? Let's not forget that we are fighting for our right to repair, which is under threat as more and more products are not available with affordable spare parts or repair information, or are not designed so that they can be repaired. And there's a push at national, European, and global level to change this. But cities can act already now. One way is to support the growing movement of community repair initiatives. We created a software that can help run these initiatives and share more their skills. And cities don't need to run events. They can support a growing network of such initiatives that already flourishes in many of them. But signposting and making them more visible for everyone is crucial. Cities can make repair the preferred option by mapping reliable businesses. We have a software that does this, and some cities might be interested in that, so that you're not just promoting recycling options, but all repair and reuse options can be as visible and more visible as possible. Cities should openly share the data about repair and reuse, and not just concentrate on recycling data. By having more openly available data around the reuse and the repair options, you're pushing away from the recycling economy, which is a missed opportunity at so many levels, and helping create dense networks of possible growth for new jobs and more meaningful activity. And finally, this has been a slogan for us for a long time. Cities need to prioritize repairable, longer-lasting products whenever they procure, and they have a strong buying power as they buy for all of their activities, and they can be a strong push for more repairable products going forward. Finally, for all of you that are in Europe, we are co-founders of a coalition pushing for right to repair in Europe. If you want to find out more, you can do so on the website and learn where we're trying to change the policy at European and national level. And happy to talk to all of you in the rest of the session. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. And just to finish, Ainik Circular. Ainik Circular is here or not? Okay, so we can pass. So I thank all the solutions for your presentation, and now you can join the workshop according to your topic. For example, biodiversity for virtue and social cohesion for Reconnect. So you will be joined by interest cities, and you have 20 minutes to discuss. And at 4:50 p.m. You can come back to the current Teams link to make a 1-minute summary and what was said during this discussions. And it will be 1 minute per workshop. And so have a good discussion, and see you later.